Over the last couple of years, I've shot carbines quite a bit and trained with them, tried a bunch of different setups, and over time, as to be expected, my takes on things or preferences changed a little bit, and I became more refined in just little nuances, things I notice, just more sensitive to details, maybe is a better way to say it. So, initially, I would divide muzzle devices for carbines into two categories: flash hiders, then the other one would be muzzle brakes or compensators. So within flash hiders, there's a bunch of different styles. We have the A2 birdcage style, 3-prong, 4-prong, and so on. But I kind of just lumped all those together. Now as I've trained more, I kind of decided to realize there's a bit of a division between those two, and or another breakdown. So this was the first one I started with, and I still like these. This is a Surefire closed tine for their SOCOM series suppressors, but you could just, it's the same thing as the regular $5 muzzle device that comes on most guns, just with a crush washer. The A2 birdcage style is flat across the bottom, so no ports, and then along the top and side, it's got these little vents for mitigating flash or hiding flash, hence the term flash hider. So I like this for a lot of reasons. One, it's cheap, it's already on the gun, it works great. Anyway, I've shot thousands of rounds through guns with those on them, even just the $5 one that, comes with the gun. And the one thing I noticed as I became more aware or tried other types is that there is a bit of a push downwards on this. And I think one of the first times I realized that I was talking to Lucas Bodkin, just comparing notes to different devices. Like, yep, that one pushes down. I was like, yeah, I kind of thought that. And I kind of was starting to feel that. And like, to be clear, I like this style. And I remember there's a couple training sessions where I was really training heavily with a rifle at the time. And I was shooting like 40, 50 meters, doing the doubles drill, so the rapid fire pairs, doing like 0.2 to 0.5 splits. So kind of getting close to where predictive kind of turns into reactive, or blurring it a little bit, but basically holding the A zone on a USPSA style target, maybe a few C's here and there, but really, really happy with the results. So anyway, I've been successful with that style of muzzle device, but as I just became more refined in my technique, my goal is just hold the gun there, space and time. Don't try to put any kind of input on it. Just hold it there, look where I want bullets to go, and just let the gun do its thing. As I became better or more refined at not putting input into the gun or moving it, started to become more aware of the fact the A2 style just pushes down slightly as far as the recoil goes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It was just, I just started to notice it. And as I was trying, probably the big contrast was I also had some guns set up with 3-prongs that I was comparing it to. So 3-prong, or this one's a 4-prong. I wish they had a 5-prong. I'd want that one. But anyway, 3 or 4-prong is just what I'll call neutral timed. It doesn't really push the muzzle any one way. It feels mostly like it comes straight back. Maybe it goes up a little bit. Without a doubt, these recoil harder, or there's more recoil than other muzzle devices, and I don't feel like it does you any favors. But I like the fact that the recoil comes straight back mostly, as opposed to shooting it and having it push down on the side a little bit. Initially with that A2 style, I never noticed it pushing down just because of maybe my technique, or I was just used to that and it would help me return the gun on the target. But as I got better and better at holding the gun just still and not doing anything, I noticed it would push the sight under the target, it would come back up. Or it would just, if I'd fire a rapid fire pairs, it would want to walk down the target. So I just need to hold it a little bit differently, apply pressure a little bit differently to prevent it from pushing down, as opposed to just holding it completely neutral. So the question is, I don't know, what should you buy? And I don't know. I think it all depends on preference. There's also a hybrid style device. I'll speak to Surefire stuff specifically because I'm just more aware of their kind of ecosystem. But the war comps are also very popular. They make them with the closed tine like that or open tine like this, but it's basically got a little row of ports along the back. It's kind of a hybrid style where it's got a little bit of the ports help reduce recoil a little bit while it's still a flash hider. And those you can time. So what it means, I'll try to get a good angle or do this well. If there's, I don't know, an inch wide strip along the top, the Surefire muzzle devices come with shims, and I could change that so that 1 inch or whatever the distance is of ports would actually be canting off straight up or down if I went at neutral, or off the side. So it may be 11 o'clock, maybe 1, maybe 2 o'clock, something like that, to help push the gun back down. In class, was a guy I met in talking about guns. I like the guy a lot. Anyway, he had a war comp. I'm like, oh, can I try that? His was timed. It was like 10 or 11 o'clock, and I shot doubles with it just a little bit, maybe a magazine's worth, and I did not like it because it was pushing the sight back down from an angle, and it felt very, very weird. For the way he mounted the rifle, held it, it was just fine. I just did not like it because I would prefer things just to be neutral or not timed or have any kind of an offset. However, depending on what you're doing and how you shoot, maybe that's preferable. The thing I notice, especially at distance, is how the dot returns, and if it goes off the target and comes back in, or makes kind of a circle, I don't like that as much. If at all possible, you'd like to have the dot lift and come straight back down. Maybe it goes up to 12, maybe it goes up to 1 o'clock, but more or less just returning right back to where you're looking, as opposed to whipping off the side of the target, which I saw more with the A2 style, which maybe was just due to my lack of skill or understanding or refinement, a multitude of things. But I've just noticed that to be less of an issue with the neutral devices, where it's not directional at all. I feel like it's just, I just stare at the point I want to hit. Maybe the recoil's a bit more, but it seems to return right back. But they're still both flash hiders. They both still work really well. I have both of them on guns. I'll make a video talking about them, but I'm going to do some LPVO training this year, taking a class with Kyle DeFore just because I like him and I'm interested in what his class is like. So I'll make a video talking about these setups, but I've got a 1-6 Loophole. This is a Patrol 6 HD 1-6 with a 4-prong on it. And then I've got a Vortex Razor 1-10 in a ADM mount setup, and this one's got that closed times the A2 style. So anyway, I think the magnification on the LPVO will be good at making me more sensitive to the details and observing how the sights track and that kind of stuff. And I'm just a nerd and I'm interested in seeing what I can learn. So be making a video about those rifles at some point, but that's my 2 cents on muzzle devices. Again, I'll just say flash hiders or comps within flash hiders. You just be thinking about if you want directional kind of input or to help the gun return, or if you just want a neutral device. And like I said, for me, I am a fan of just the neutral ones. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Answer some questions. If you have questions below or your favorite you want to talk about, drop in the comments.